What is going on, everybody? Zyonik here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out some battles from Kenshin 172704. So thank you for the submission. They are running a Venusaur, Skarmory, and Umbreon, so a pretty solid team. And what we're going to do today is something a little different. We are going to shoutcast just like normal. We're going to go through the 5 battles they submitted. But at the end, we're going to talk about should you invest in this Pokemon or should you not, give you some reasons why, and just kind of give it a rating. What we're going to call now is basically my opinion, but a Z rating basically. So a score out of 10, whether you should, it's super meta relevant, you guys need to invest in this Pokemon, or if you could hold off and use other Pokemon. So we're going to be doing that after the battle, so be sure to stick around for that if you want to know more about these Pokemon, if they're new to you. If you're here to just check out the battles, see what's happening, that's what we're going to dive right into. So before we get right into the battles real quick, I think the Skarmory is running Steel Wing in this video. So just to let you guys know, it's kind of hard to see with the speed up on the animations, but I think because and the energy's somewhat similar, the damage is similar in the mirror, but you guys will see some matches, especially against a Lowland Ninetales that absolutely destroys it, which makes me think it's running Steel Wing. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that, but just kind of putting this here before we get into the battles so you guys can know that on the left side of your screen, that air slash is supposed to be Steel Wing. Alright, so getting right into the battles here. I'm curious to see how this Umbreon will perform without Last Resort. Last Resort is very crucial on an Umbreon, especially in the Azumarill matchup. But we'll have to see how this plays up, and the mirror match as well. We have a Venusaur versus a shiny Vigoroth on the leap. This is going to be pretty interesting. It's all going to depend on who wants to invest the shields, because the body slams are going to do quite a bit of neutral damage to Venusaur, and then Frenzy Plant, obviously, is going to do quite a bit to the Vigoroth as well. First body slam comes off, no shield coming through from the Venusaur. We do see a Frenzy Plant now come in. Again, Frenzy Plant is a Community Day move, so if you don't have a Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, you'd either have to use an Elite TM, trade, or and he does a swap on the charge move right there with body slam. This is going to be absorbed by the Skarmory and going to be resisted because of that steel typing, so fantastic swap right there. Now he's going to be able to farm down right here, another body slam coming through, no reason to shield right here, and it's curious that he is not switching out of the Vigoroth. Maybe his backline is going to be weak to this Skarmory, and he's actually going to commit to the pure farm down. He's just purely going to commit. He is going to invest one shield. He does want to maintain some of his health for the backline, and then he is just going to farm down. Now we're in a one shield situation. Venusaur has a little bit of loaded energy. Skarmory has loaded energy. Now we didn't see what came in, but he's getting off the Sky Attack right now, and it's going to be another Skarmory. Okay, so shield coming up on the Skarmory right there. So he needs to really get this Skarmory low, and he's going for a Flash Cannon, which is going to do higher damage per energy than Sky Attack. But knowing that he's going to go down quickly, he's actually able to land the Flash Cannon right there, which is very crucial. Now, his Umbreon is going to be key right here to finish off because he cannot bring that Venusaur in versus the Skarmory. Skarmory is an absolute wall to grass type Pokemon. And we see the swap to Whiscash, which calls the instant swap to Venusaur. This Venusaur is loaded on energy, going to be 4 times, super effective against the Whiscash. It goes down. The Skarmory is going to come back through and be able to farm down, but that's okay. Umbreon has a shield, and this is basically going to be a GG right here with Snarl with the quick energy gain. Foul Play going to be doing nice neutral damage. This is basically game over right here for the Skarmory. So again, Foul Play coming through. He didn't need Last Resort that game. No Umbreon and no Azumarill on the opponent's team, and his opponent decides to surrender. So good battle right there. Great showcase from the Skarmory play, noticing that he went for Sky Attack first and he got a shield, which means his opponent is likely not going to shield again, so he goes for the Flash Cannon for a higher DPE move, which is damage per energy. So we're going to go ahead and move into game 2 here. We have Venusaur versus Defense Form Deoxys. Okay, so this is an interesting matchup because it all depends on if they have Psycho Boost or not. Venusaur is going to be weak to those Psychic type moves, so if they have a Psycho Boost, that'll be doing super effective damage. Rock Slide will be doing neutral, and then the Thunderbolt will be resisted. We do see a shield, okay? Now we'll have to see if this is a Psycho Boost. He's building up quite a bit of energy, and he's swapping out actually into Ferrothorn, so we see the Umbreon now instantly come in. Curious that he didn't bring in the Skarmory, but Ferrothorn does have access to Thunder, so it could be running that. But Umbreon is a great safe switch in the meta, especially if you're not facing off against any Charmers or Fighters. But Foul Play here, going to be chipping away at the Ferrothorn. but Ferrothorn can get to charge moves very, very quickly. These are going to be charging energy at the same rate, Snarl and Bullet Seed. And we see another Power Whip come through, no shield on the Umbreon. They're basically doing roughly the same amount of damage with their charge moves here, so it's going to be a game of chicken with the charge move. I suspect we will see a shield on this next one from the Umbreon. He definitely wants to win the switch advantage right here. Foul Play coming out, able to beat the Power Whip to the energy. So we'll have to see if we see a shield from Ferrothorn. We do see a shield, and we see a swap or potential swap to Skarmory. Will we see a shield come out on the Umbreon, though? We will see the shield. So he's going to look to potentially farm down with Snarl alone. It's going to be close, and he's looking to swap, and he swaps to Skarmory to finish off right there. Now we're going to see that Defense Form Deoxys come back in, especially if it has Thunderbolt. We do see it come in. Rock Slide's going to do quite a bit. Thunderbolt will be doing super effective. No shield coming through. It's going to be a Thunderbolt. Does about 50% of Skarmory's health. All he needs to do is get to a Sky Attack right here. This won't be enough to finish off Defense Form Deoxys because of its bulk, but it's still going to be able to chip away, and it's going to be curious to see what is in the back because they didn't bring out... Skarmory could be very good against the back line. Another charge move coming through. Going to be Rock Slide, able to survive it, but it's going to go down to counter. Now it's going to be up to the Venusaur to basically close out this game, and if there's a flyer in the back, it's basically over unless it's Altaria. He could go for back-to-back Sludge Bombs and a Foul Play to finish off an Altaria if we see in the back. Shields the Rock Slide, rightfully so. Going to commit to the farm down. We see a Sableye come in. Okay, this is going to be a good game. He's going to be able to get off 2 Frenzy Plants here to finish off the Sableye. He might actually decide to switch. No, he's just going to go for 2 Frenzy Plants. And that is going to call it right there. So Umbreon, even though it's a great counter to Defense Form Deoxys because of the dark typing, he utilized it to basically fight off against that Ferrothorn. But I think in hindsight, maybe he could have just waited a second and then brought in the Skarmory. But overall, good battle right there. Let's go ahead and move into Game 3. So Game 3, we'll have to see how this one goes. This is all in rank 8 as well. We have Venusaur versus a Lowland Raichu. Okay, so this is pre-Wild Charge. If you're watching this after Wild Charge has been updated, we see a Lowland Ninetales come out, and this is what Skarmory is built for. That steel typing, going to be resisting the charm. Absolutely going to be able to chunk this Alolan Ninetales right here. Ice Beam does hit for quite a bit right there. Is he using... Hold on, no, is this a Steel Wing? Battle sped up a little bit. Sky Attack coming through. We'll have to see what it is against. It's going to be the Lowland Raichu, going to be resisted because of the electric typing. I can't tell if he's using Steel Wing. I think it's just Air Slash. I think it was just Air Slash. Umbreon now able to come out. Foul Plays, again, going to be doing super effective damage. We'll have to see here. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the fast move of Skarmory was. I'm pretty sure it's Air Slash. Yeah, I think it was Air Slash. So Thunder Punch coming through, not going to do a lot. It's looking to farm down. We see the swap to Machamp. So Venusaur is going to be a good call right here. Going to be able to get to charge moves very quickly. The poison typing is going to be resisting those fighting moves from the Machamp, but it does need to watch out for the Rock Slide, but it is in a 2-shield situation, so he can happily double shield right here and utilize his Umbreon basically to finish off the game. So we do see the first shield. Probably going to get to the Frenzy Plant before another charge move comes in on the Machamp. Machamp wins the CMP tie, actually. We'll probably see a shield come up right here, and it's going to be another Cross Chop. So good shield baits here by the Machamp going for the Cross Chops, and now it's going to be a race to the Rock Slide to try to finish off, because if this Machamp can win the CMP tie, Umbreon's going to have a tough time taking it out. But he loses CMP tie. Venusaur is able to get off the Frenzy Plant. This will be finishing off the Machamp. Lowland Raichu is going to be coming in, and he might swap instantly to Umbreon on the Foul Play. Nope, his opponent surrenders. Wow, 2 surrenders so far. All right, good battles right there. Utilizing Venusaur pretty well, knowing that he can go into double shields and outpace the Machamp in terms of charge moves, but his opponent did a good job at shield baiting with that Cross Chop. So here we go. Game 4. Azumarill. Alright, this is what Venusaur is built to take down, is Azumarils, but you do have to watch out for the Ice Beam. Unlike Meganium, you can only survive 1 Ice Beam, but it's going to do quite a bit. Now they swap into Defense Form Deoxys, which this is beautiful. Because Umbreon does not have Last Resort, it cannot fight back against the Azumarill very well. On top of that, it's going to be doing super effective damage to the Defense Form Deoxys. Even though counter is going to do quite a bit, this Foul Play is going to be doing more than the counter damage will. As you guys see, super effective. So this is a really great position to be in. He probably might want to get himself a little bit lower in terms of health so the Azumarill can't farm a lot of energy. But he does get a shield, however. That is really solid, putting it at a 1-shield game. Oh no, did he accidentally shield? This is probably an accidental shield. It still went through. Okay, that was a visual glitch. That was weird. Okay. Umbreon able to get to another foul play now. I'd be curious to see if his defense form Deoxys decides to shield here. No shield coming through. This is a great position for the Umbreon because he's not able to give a lot of health for Azumarill to be able to farm down. Because he's not running Last Resort, Foul Play is going to be resisted. It's not going to do a lot, but Azumarill can't farm down for a lot of energy, and Venusaur can now safely come back in. He still has Skarmory in the back, but if his opponent is running a Registeel, this is going to be a tough team to beat because Frenzy Plant and Skarmory will not be able to solo a Registeel. What was the Pokemon coming? Man, I wish they would change that. It's not being able to see what Pokemon it is. It's going to be a Skarmory, so Skarmory fight. But the thing is, this Skarmory doesn't have any shield, so it's going to be a tough win right here. Skarmory here needs to be able to get the shield from the opponent Skarmory and take it down low enough so that Frenzy Plant can finish off. Charge move coming through. We'll have to see if this is going to be a Flash Cannon. It is going to be a Flash Cannon. Again, the better damage per energy move in the mirror match right here. And this is a classic showdown. For any of you guys that battled in the Silph Arena from 2019, this was like the bane of our existence, was Skarmory fights. This is really interesting that he didn't shield and he's committing to the farm down. And we see a swap now into Azumarill. So he's going for the Flash Cannon here. Flash Cannon is going to be neutral because of the Fairy Water typing. And then we're going to see the swap. Will we see the swap? Oh, man. He's trying to... We swapped a little too late. Azumarill's Ice Beam is going to hurt the Venusaur. It won't take it out, but this is going to be critically low. Oh, it's a Hydro Pump. Wrong move there. Maybe they're running Play Rough Hydro Pump. That could be a potential, and Skarmory goes down. What an interesting way to end right there. Azumarill's definitely want to be going for the Ice Beam there, but I'm guessing the opponent had Hydro Pump, Play Rough, which is tough because the Play Rough wouldn't do a lot of damage. Hydro Pump was the good call in that situation, but again, Ice Beam would have been perfect right there. So we're moving into Game 4, I believe here, Game 5. I always lose track, that's all right. So let me know what you guys think of this team. I think Venusaur, Skarmory, Umbreon is a pretty solid team. Oh, air finding match. Okay, getting into the next battle. Yeah, I think Venusaur is fantastic. In terms of against the meta right now, I think Meganium might be a better option because it can handle Registeel and Azumarill. We see another Azumarill lead. This is fantastic for him. He's going to be able to just start farming. This is probably going to be an Ice Beam Azumarill, which is why it's staying in. So we do see the charge move come through. This is going to be Ice Beam. Definitely has to shield. Venusaur can tank one Ice Beam, but it's way too low. So he's going to be going for Frenzy Plant. Now, this is going to pressure the shields on the Azumarill. We'll probably see a shield and maybe a swap out. No shield coming through. He's going to be able to farm down for energy. His opponent now is in shield advantage, but losing... here we go. There's the Registeel. So we're going to see Frenzy Plants come through. This is where Meganium can do a little better because it can do super effective damage with Earthquake, whereas Venusaur is stuck doing Frenzy Plants right here. Now he's looking to swap, and he's going to go into Skarmory, actually. Really interesting choice here. Probably a Focus Blast going to be coming through from the Registeel. No shield coming through. Going to be neutral. Does about 50% of Skarmory's health. And this may have been a bad risk it for the Biscuit if they are running a Meganium in the back, but he still has his Venusaur, which has access to Sludge Bomb, so that could handle that. See a Sky Attack coming through, starting to chip away at the Registeel here. Another charge move coming through. This is probably going to be another Focus Blast. If it's Flash Cannon, it wouldn't finish it off. It's going to be Focus Blast, able to take out the Skarmory. And now he can come in with Umbreon. So Umbreon's in a fantastic position right now. It does need to watch out for the Focus Blast, but Foul Play here won't be enough to take out the Registeel, but it will get it low and allow it to farm with Snarl. So he just needs to be concerned. Oh, what is the last Pokemon? He decided to shield right there. Okay, this might be a shield bait. He is going to opt to shield. It is a Focus Blast, which is a good call. So Umbreon might be doing really well against whatever's in the back. It could be a Haunter, could be a Hypno. We'll have to see if a second shield comes up right here. It's definitely something is in the back that is going to be weak to Umbreon. His opponent recognizes it, and we can't see what it is. Ah, this is so frustrating. Okay, Frenzy Plant coming through. It's going to be another Venusaur. Wow, okay, was not guessing that. This is where that Skarmory could have been clutch here at the end. Sludge Bomb likely coming through from the opponent Venusaur as all shields are down right here. This won't finish it off, but he is going to be able to get to his own Sludge Bomb. This is going to get the Venusaur low, and then his Umbreon's actually going to do really well at basically farming down right here. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Okay, Umbreon's going to come back in, going to be able to finish off with Snarl, and then Registeel is relatively low, and he's going to be able to get off a foul play right here and finish off. So really good battle right there. Again, it's very crucial for the Umbreon team, if you're not running Last Resort, to catch the Azumarill early, or catch it or lock it in with something that can beat it, because if Umbreon gets locked in against Azumarill, you're going to have a bad day if you don't have Last Resort. So really good battles right there. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles. Thank you for sharing this with us, and we are going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the picks and whether you guys should invest in them. Alright, so we are over here on pvpoke.com. We're going to take a look at the rankings, the ratings, some of the matchups of these Pokemon. Let's start off with Venusaur. So firstly, Venusaur, you want to run it with the Legacy Community Day move of Frenzy Plant. Outside of that, it's not going to do very well. So let's go ahead and check out the ranking here in the Great League. Venusaur 25th overall, pretty strong. It's got fantastic matchups in those waters, so Azumarill, Swampert, which are pretty common. Whiscash as well. It also does well against fairies as well because of the Sludge Bomb. But you are going to be beat by a lot of those dragons, so something like Altaria, Skarmory. You also beat by Charizard, Venomoth. Confusion is huge, so a Hypno, a Jirachi, a Venomoth, Pokemon that have access to Confusion is going to do quite a bit of damage, so you need to kind of build around that, which is why the Umbreon is on this team, able to handle those Psychics, and the Skarmory can go into the mirror match, and it can also beat out Altaria. Now, Movesets, like we talked about earlier, Vine Whip is going to be the move you definitely want to go with. Razor Leaf has some niche, but if you're going to be using a Razor Leaf user, there's better options out there. Venusaur is all about getting off Frenzy Plants and Sludge Bombs. It's all about that energy. Charge moves, again, it has access to Frenzy Plant, Sludge Bomb, Petal Blizzard, and Solar Beam. If you do not have Frenzy Plant, do not run a Venusaur. Everyone, there's better grass options that don't need Legacy moves out there. So for this one, is it worth investing in Elite TM? Potentially. As for your first Elite TM, I'd say no. I'd say hold off on investing on Venusaur. You can look to trade. A lot of people have extra Frenzy Plant Venusaurs. Or what you can do is find yourself a good Bulbasaur for PvP, PvP IVs, and save for December. Niantic has done 2 years in a row now, Community Days. All the Pokemon previously have been able to be evolved and get their Community Day moves at the end of the year, so look forward to that. Definitely save here. As for the matchups, let's go ahead and take a look at basically a team builder. So we're going to use this to check out some of the matchups, and we're going to go and put in our Venusaur. There we go. So we're going to put in our Venusaur, check it out against some of the top meta stuff, and talk about the weaknesses so you can see why. So as we see here, right off the bat, it can't handle Registeel, Azumarill Core. It can handle Azumarill very, very well, but Registeel is going to do a little bit better against it because Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb will both be resisted, whereas a Meganium can do Earthquake against Registeel and handle that. So in terms of grass tiers versus the core of Registeel, Azumarill, definitely say Meganium's a little bit farther ahead there. But you're also going to be weak to things like Altaria, Mantine, Zwellios, Tropius as well, especially Air Slash Tropius. Lapras, actually, which is a really interesting fight. If you guys ever face off against a Ice Shard Lapras, Lapras can win by just using Ice Shards and Surfs. As you guys can see right here, Ice Shard does so much damage that it can absolutely destroy a Venusaur, so you don't want to stay in that matchup because you're going to lose if it's an Ice Shard. That's Legacy, though. So let's go ahead and head back. Talk about its big counter. So as we see here, Altaria, Skarmory, Jirachi, Frostlass, Registeel knocked out Tropius. What you see is Flyers, Steals, and Confusion as well, and then Fires as well. So there's a lot of hard counters, but it can be protected relatively easy. Again, most of the protection is probably going to be coming from Azumarill, Registeel. They're so good, but basically tanks like Registeel, Melmetal, Bastiodon would be fantastic tanks. Umbreon as well, fantastic generalist right there, able to handle the Altaria, Skarmory, Flyers, also able to handle those Confusion users, so Jirachi, and Frostlass, the Ghost, because of the dark typing. So it's a really solid pickup right there on Umbreon, and we saw that in today's battles. So overall, I think Venusaur, I'd probably give it, out of 10, I'd probably get a 6.5. And that's just opinion. And why I say 6.5 is I think there's a better grass out there that you can invest in right now, and that's going to be Meganium, but it's still meta relevant. Venusaur is something you want to eventually have on your roster, but do you need it like today, or did you need it yesterday? No. I think there's other grass Pokemon, but overall it's pretty solid and a solid good investment, but it's definitely not like an Azumarill 10 out of 10 basically. All right, next up we're going to check out Skarmory. So Skarmory has been a premier flyer in the Great League. Skarmory and Altaria are the staples of flyers. Noctowl tries to get, no, not flyers, Skarmory. I can spell Skarmory. Okay, 28 overall in the ranking. Again, you want to run Air Slash, Sky Attack, and Flash Cannon. It's big covers. It can actually beat an Altaria because of the resistance to Dragon Breath. It can also absolutely wall Grass-type Pokemon. Grass-type Pokemon are going to basically not hit a Skarmory very hard unless it's something like a Cherim, right, with that Weather Ball, which is fire, because Skarmory's only weaknesses are going to be fire and electric, as we can see down here, right? Weaknesses, fire, electric, but it has a ton of resistances. This is why it's so great as an anti-grass. It beats poison, grass, bugs, steel, or resist all these, I should say. So that's a lot of resistances right there. On top of that, its moveset, Air Slash, Sky Attack, Flash Cannon is fantastic against the meta. Flash Cannon is really strong against those fairies. Sky Attack, Air Slash is typically what you're going to be running, but you are going to be very weak to electric and fire, which is why it's showing Pokemon like Lantern and Magnezone as fantastic counters. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check out Skarmory in a little meta score breakdown right here. And as you guys can see, the Skarmory cannot beat Registeel Azumarill. That's not what it's built for. It's built to kind of cover fighters and grass, basically, which is why it's beating Pokemon like Tropius and Vigoroth right there. On top of that, it's a great resistance to fairies. Because of the steel typing, it can actually handle Altaria, like we said earlier, because it can resist Dragon Breath, but it's going to be a very close fight. But it's just a great cover, absolutely walls Meganium as well. So pretty solid option, and also it's not going to be as weak to Azumarill like an Altaria is, because it's going to be taking neutral damage from the Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump, you definitely have to watch out for it. If an Azumarill lands a Hydro Pump on you, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. As we see here, the Azumarill here is running Bubble Beam, Hydro Pump. And it wants to land Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump's going to do 60 damage for 75 energy, whereas Ice Beam's going to do 35 for 55 energy. So it's definitely way less deadly than an Altaria. Altaria is going to be taking a ton of damage from Ice Beam, as you guys know. So as a flyer, overall, I think it's fantastic. As for its biggest weaknesses, it's going to be those tanks, those electric, those big, thick tanks, Registeel, Bastiodon, and then a ton of electric. So Zapdos, Lantern, Regirock, Stunfisk. And yeah, so you got to kind of protect it. Whiscash is a great option, as you guys are seeing here from the team building. I'm curious to see if it puts Venusaur up here. Yep, there you go, number 12 Venusaur. Some good protection. It can handle basically anything but the Registeel from this list, which is pretty good. But overall, as a team, Venusaur, Skarmory, and Umbreon can bulk down a Registeel like you guys saw in the games earlier. It's just a team effort to take that down. You don't have a hard counter for it. As for Skarmory with investing in, I definitely think I'd give Skarmory like a 9, right? 8.5, 9 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic flyer. It can really help protect Pokemon like Azumarill, who are going to be very weak to grass. But the thing is also Registeel, or not Registeel, Azumarill and Skarmory share that electric weakness, so you got to be careful with that. But as its role of basically dominating grass and bulking down and resisting some of those Charmers and Dragons, I think it's fantastic. You definitely want to get double moves on it. You could survive a little while without Flash Cannon, but mandatory, you need to have Air Slash, Sky Attack, but Flash Cannon will save you in clutch situations, so I definitely think it's worth the dust investment. There's no legacies here, no elite TMs that you guys need to use. You guys can just trade or just catch a Skarmory and then invest in it, and I think it's going to be a really good option for the Great League. And finally, we are going to check out Umbreon. Umbreon is one of my favorite Pokemon for the Great League. Rank 9 overall, but that is due to Last Resort. Some of the big things that it can counter, right? Altaria, Swampert, Defense Form, Deoxys, Alolan Marowak, and Skarmory. It's going to be really solid, but what you have to watch out for is Charmers and Fighters. As a pure Dark-type Pokemon, you're going to get absolutely destroyed by Charmers, and then Fighters as well will absolutely just wreck through you, which is why you need that last resort. Dark-type moves are going to be resisted by Fighting-type Pokemon, so you want to have that last resort to help out with neutral damage. Now, as for moveset, 100% need to be running Snarl. If you're running Feint Attack on an Umbreon, you will have a bad day because it won't give you as much energy. As for the choice between Foul Play and Dark Pulse, that's personal preference. Dark Pulse does a little bit more damage for a little bit more energy. Foul Play is more spammier. I personally like Foul Play, and then I think Last Resort is pretty much mandatory. We saw in today's video that it paid off for him, but down the line, I think you definitely want to get yourself a Last Resort. Now, is it worth using an Elite TM? Questionable. Depends on what else you have and what else you need for other leagues. I think this could possibly take an Elite Charge TM. I think it could be worth it. But again, I would probably hold off or look to trade. Trades are actually going to be pretty rare, if I'm being honest, for Last Resort Umbreons, as they've been snatched up by Silpharina players from last year. So I think this is one of those Pokemon where you can run it with Snarl Foul Play like he's doing, like Kenshin's doing, and then look to evolve an Eevee on December to get Last Resort, and then really start to add that to your roster. We're going to take a look at the team builder, see what it can be good against, what it's going to be weak against, and just basically kind of wrap it up, give it a score real quick. So we have Umbreon, Snarl, Foul Play, Last Resort. And as we see here, it can't beat Registeel Azumarill. It can, in certain situations, handle a Registeel, but you have to watch out for that Focus Blast. That fighting type move is going to do quite a bit of damage, but if you can outpace the Registeel towards an endgame with energy advantage and getting off foul plays, you could beat it, especially with shield advantage. Azumarill, again, is going to be a great counter to an Umbreon, especially if they're running Play Rough. But basically, if you're only running Snarl Foul Play, the Azumarill is going to be resisting those Dark-type moves, which is why you need that Last Resort. As for other coverage, Altaria Swampert, pretty solid. Altaria is a really nice pickup there, especially with a Venusaur lead like this team had. An Altaria lead would be very tough, but having Skarmory and Umbreon, which can do pretty well against Altaria, is really nice. And like we said, you pick up, you lose to fighters, so like Machamp, Vigoroth, like we see right there. But you can do a lot of generalists. Like Umbreon is a fantastic generalist in the meta, but you are going to be very, very weak to Charmers and Fighters. This is what we're seeing right here. So Registeel is the #1 counter. That's because it's just bulky and it can spam Focus Blast. But then from there, things like Clefable, Hitmontop, Wigglytuff, Vigoroth, Scrafty, these guys are going to be putting a beat down on the Umbreon, which is why you need that Skarmory on this team for that resistance and coverage. On top of that, Venusaur as well helps cover with Sludge Bomb and then resisting to the fighting type moves, which is why this team synergizes pretty well. As for a score, I think Umbreon's probably, I'd probably give it a 7. I'd probably get a 7.5. I don't think it's mandatory to invest in right now. You could go for the Snarl Foul Play, but you definitely want to have Last Resort. And like I said, wait till December if you can. December's going to come quicker than you think. You guys can get away without using Umbreon in the Great League. So definitely look to get yourself an Umbreon, but it's not something you need right away. I think Skarmory's probably, out of the 3, going to be a better investment. If you can only choose one from today's video to invest in for Great League, I think Skarmory is probably the best option from this team. I mean, because you can build a lot of stuff around that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about the tail end of this video. I thought I'd start doing this because I want to give my honest opinion and give you guys good feedback about what to invest in, because I know a lot of you are new to Great League. So like I said, Venusaur, Umbreon, save for December. Skarmory you can invest in right now. I think it's definitely going to help you out. You can pair it with a lot of nice stuff. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.